survey, creating it over the weekend into early next week and distributing it about mid next week. And then review drafts of chapters, and also look at the survey results. So ground rules, just, there may be differing opinions in here, and that's okay. Just be respectful of those. We're gonna have about 2 minutes per person on input, and so please honor that. If there's some individuals that are speaking more than others, and some individuals that want to speak haven't had a chance to speak, please be respectful of that and have others' voices be heard. And when it comes to certain things, discuss the problem, and if there's a person behind it, don't discuss the person and try and drag their name through the mud. So, here are some survey results from the second survey. The survey results will also be available to the public at the same time the third survey is distributed. So I just took some questions from that survey. And so whenever it comes to areas that Paonia either has too much, has enough, or needs more, the main thing that everyone agreed with, or the majority agreed with, was job and employment opportunities. And that would really help the valley, or Paonia more specifically, in economic development. And then if you go over to what types of development should the town discourage, there were 5 options there. There was a list of others. Those will be included in the results. But you can tell that they want to keep the charm and the character of Paonia and not let big box stores in, fast food, or any kind of environmentally harmful industries. And so we gave a couple of options of, when it comes to growth and development, what are Paonia's greatest challenges? And it was kind of a mixed bag. There wasn't one that specifically stuck out, but job opportunities once again popped up. So job growth. And then once again, housing, which was discussed in the first public input meeting, came up, and having adequate housing options for people of all income levels. And then the third that ranked there was protecting scenery and natural resources. And then top economic development priorities, the top one was renewable energy, so maybe capitalizing off the momentum that SEI has already started, and really just spreading that throughout Paonia. And also the second one, which is very close, was promotion and retention of existing businesses. And I think that's one thing that's really important to discuss when you're talking about growth. We're not necessarily talking about population growth. We're talking about sustaining what's already here and growing from that, and just making it as successful as possible. And then the third was year-round recreation and tourism. And then the board was talking about there was a discussion a couple board meetings back, so we put this on here in terms of would you be in favor of the town legalizing the sale of recreational marijuana. About 82% said they would be. And the following question was, where should that tax monies be allocated towards? And about 50% said infrastructure, so roads, water, and sewer.
I just had a question on, mainly driven by the strong responses for employment, but obviously other opportunities as well. Do you get a sense from the survey or from these sessions that people are just focused within the town limits? Because that's really your purview. And I think one of the things in any small town area is thinking in terms of a region. And it's highly unlikely there's going to be adequate employment or recreational activities inside the town.
And it's connecting, it's a network.
Like connecting to it.
Yeah, and so that's what the master plan, once it's drafted, will try and connect possible complementary businesses to help create a, if not local network or regional network, where we can feed off of each other and benefit mutually.
I have one question.
Yes.
What's the average there in the top category?
So that's,
what's the average?
so it's just a ranking. So if it gets, the higher the number is, the more in need the respondents suggested. So the rankings would be job employment opportunities, second would be restaurants and dining options, or second actually would be recreation opportunities, third would be restaurants and dining options. So the closer it is to 3, or the higher the number is, the more need there is in the community. So it's just the way that it's easy to kind of quantify the data and put all those numbers together and find an average.
And people didn't detail their
Yeah.
We'll do that tonight.
And so moving on to transportation, the main mode of transportation for the respondents was personal vehicle. And then we also asked about different things that people encounter, whether they're on the bike, whether they're on the sidewalks, to understand what potential needs there may be in transportation. As some people may speculate or state that the overall response for the quality of roads was poor, fairly poor. And so that is a need that we do understand and that we know of. And so that is going to be a pretty large priority, if not it's going to be the biggest priority in the transportation chapter. So, and also probably a very, very close to the top priority when it comes to the overall master plan. So community sustainability, so this dives into whether it's culture, government, economic, there's 5 pillars and they all interact with each other, and we're trying to find a balance. And so this first table right here is kind of an index to be able to evaluate first for the government where we stand in the public eye in terms of public trust. And as you can see, there are things we can improve on. And so this will spark a discussion on our frequency of communication, how that communication occurs, and the overall just community engagement aspect of things to help build trust and have a more involved citizenry, because really governments of any size, if they don't have an involved citizenry, then we're really not heading in the right direction. So when it comes to prioritizing what the town should protect and preserve when it comes to growth, water resources was the main one. And then it seems like the majority of respondents, by quite a large margin, were very interested in environmental issues and really protecting the environment of the area. And so when it comes to that pillar, that's something that this chapter will focus on as well. So now we'll get into this meeting after that quick review. And so we'll get into arts and culture. So the current conditions, Paonia is one of 26 certified creative districts through the Colorado Creative Industries. And it's really a privilege to have that within a community. Not many communities have that throughout Colorado. And because of that, one of the things that we've had the opportunity opportunity to do is apply for a space to create location. So Paonia was competing in the Northwest region, and the 3 finalists were Carbondale, Paonia, and Crested Butte. And so it was a state initiative, and partners are Department of Local Affairs in Colorado, Colorado Creative Industries, Art Space, and Petra Foundation, Creative Coalition, and the town all partnered together to kind of guide this project. And I'll give an update later on some of the current situations specifically relating to the project. And over the past decade, the presence of art in the community, as well as creative individuals, has really increased. And there's some stats behind it on the next slide that we'll kind of dive into that from 2011 to 2018. And then culture and art are interrelated to a degree, and it includes traditions, historical resources, the community character, and really just the fabric that makes a community. And culture and art can bolster that, and so this is why they're interrelated and under the same chapter. And so, as most of you may know, Paonia has a bunch of celebrations, festivals, and events throughout the year to really help build that culture. And it usually, not usually, it does have a pretty significant art component to that. And so we have Susie called us low today with Creative Coalition, so I just wanted to have her come up, introduce herself, and just kind of talk about what the Creative Coalition is in case nobody really knows about it. So.
Hi everyone, I'm Susie. I'm the director of the Creative Coalition, and we manage the Paonia Creative District. I've been working on this project for 8 years here in the North Fork Valley, and the Creative Coalition's mission is to foster the development of a vibrant community and a diverse creative economy. I've listed here most of the signature annual events that happen in Paonia, and some of these are shared with the entire North Fork Valley, just to give you an idea of how much we have going on every year. And it's really the Creative Coalition's job to paint the picture of the arts and culture scene here in Paonia. So we are an alliance that works with individuals, businesses, and other nonprofits to create this diverse, brilliant place that we live in. So we partnered with the Paradise Theater, KBNF Mountain Grown Radio, the Blue Sage Center for the Arts, Elsewhere Studios, Mountain Harvest Creative, the Learning Council, and we've even partnered with Western Slope Conservation Center and Citizens for a Healthy Community on different initiatives. And we also work with the Chamber of Commerce, the Town of Paonia, County Commissioners, Delta County Tourism Cabinet, where needed. So really, Paonia, yeah, thank you. Thank you. I wanted to talk numbers a little bit to give you an idea of the growth we've seen since we've been in the Creative District program. And this data is direct jobs, direct earnings, direct numbers. There is no multiplier. This is federal data that is available to us through a commission called WestStaff, which is the Western States Art Federation, and we have access to this data because we are a creative district. It is updated annually, and it usually runs about a year and a half behind. So the most recent data we have is from 2018, and you can see at the end of 2011, around the time when some shifts started happening and transitions in our community around the coal mines closing, we had a loss of 45% creative jobs. Only 96 people, when they filled out their taxes, a lot of this comes from tax information, identified as a creative practitioner. And you can see since then, 7 years, we've grown that to 184 creative jobs. The earnings in 2011 were about 3.3 million, and in 2018 were about 5.5 million. And I want to note that this is for the entire zip code 81428. We don't have the data to distill it down to just the town, but we have this data available to us for every zip code in Colorado and the U.S. actually. So we're growing. From 2017 to 2018, there was a slight loss in earnings. So those earnings were above 5.5 million for the 8128 zip code. All in all, I think that this supports our mission. These are facts and figures that support the Creative District and the fact that arts and culture is playing a role in the economy here in Paonia, and not just in the economy, but it's a wonderful, vibrant community to live in, where we have tons of different music outlets, theater, dance, visual arts, writers, landscapers, architects, I mean, you name it, value-added food producers, craft brewers, vintners, those all come under the purview of creative industries at the federal level, and we adopt that as well. So thank you for being here. We're interested to see what you have to say about arts and culture and the future you want to see for this town. We appreciate your support, the Creative Coalitions. I'm not speaking for the town, I'm speaking for the nonprofit. We really appreciate your support. And we also value criticism and input that helps us grow stronger. So thanks.
Thank you, Susie. And so with the Space to Create project, here's some updates. So a feasibility and marketing study, or 2 studies were completed and presented in January 2019 at Town Hall. So the feasibility study, the short of it was they said it was feasible. and that we can continue on in the project. And the housing market survey stated that the town and this space grade project could support 17 to 20 living units. So currently, and they've been meeting since the beginning, there's a space to create committee. So we got done with phase 1, phase 2 is pre-development, and we haven't initially began on that, but we're taking the steps towards that. Groundbreaking on this project is not expected to begin before any time in 2022. And so, just a little bit of financial information about this. The town of Paonia, over the past 2 years, has committed $10,000 to the project. We received quite a lot of help from outside organizations. The Better Foundation committed $250,000, DOLA $35,000, and CCI $50,000. And so, whenever Paonia was selected as this community over Crescent Butte and Carbondale, one of the initial discussions was how can we, as a community, as all these partnering organizations, afford this compared to Carbondale and Crescent Butte, who have larger economies, more sales tax, and so it was recognized that the town doesn't have funds to allocate to this project to what they would be able to, and that the priorities would be roads, water, sewer infrastructure, and the safety of the community. And so DOLA, Art Space, CCI, they understood that, and so they're working with us once we get into the pre-development phase. And the development phase, they will be actively seeking grants with us and securing those grants. And so the overall project cost was about $3.1 million, correct? And so we're really looking at outside sources to gain that funding, because there are a lot of projects and higher priorities on our list, such as infrastructure, to focus on. And so that's just a brief summary of where we're at in this period today. And so with that, we'll take input over arts and culture. So if anybody has any ideas, any input on the current situation and how to move forward in the future, I'd appreciate that. Yes?
I'd like to work with the town on a public art policy.
An alleyway mural would be great, like just devote a certain alleyway for artists to come in rotationally. Town I used to live in called it a freak alley, and it was just a big alley of tons of different artists. It was really neat.
I'm all for art and culture, but I'm not sure it's something that should be subsidized by the government. And I think it's kind of outrageous that they just upped our sewer and water rates, and then they're giving $10,000 to this project. I just don't see it at all.
And to clarify on that, the project is using general fund monies, enterprise funds, so water, sewer, and trash. Those funds have to sustain themselves, so the revenues have to cover the expenditures, and those funds can't go outside of those enterprise funds, so no enterprise fund money is going towards basically specifically for our customers.
But like, where is the $10,000 coming from?
The town, so the general fund.
Yeah, I object to it.
Yeah, who's the town?
The town is.
Where's the money for the town?
Okay.
Yeah.
I understand that. Yes.
So just a comment that I feel responsible for bringing a lot of people into this town, and am blown away by the positive comments that we get from visitors, travelers, and a big piece of it is when they walk down the street and they see, a mural up on the side of a building, a sheep over on 2nd Street. People are just blown away, and they want to come back. And they want to come back, and they want to come back and spend money. The other night at Paradise, I understand they had an incredible crowd for like top-notch country band. And most of the people in there were not from Delta County. They were from, we don't know, they were from Delta County, they were from all over the Western Slope. Those people brought revenue into the town, those people bought other things, they went to dinner, they went to shops. And, the vibe that Paonia has right now, when I go outside of Paonia, go to Denver, people go, wow, oh, you're from there, that's a cool place. We know that. And everything that we do in the presence of the creative district has made such a big difference. And to keep that going, all that is gonna do is feed the coffers. It'll bring in more tax money, it'll bring in more money for the town, for our businesses, and keep our businesses sustainable. So, we have a very, very strong base right now. And I think we need to honor that base and take a look at it and see how we can expand on it.
I've always thought, I think it's the space to create project is a little funny. I know there are a lot of artists who live here in town, who own properties and homes in town. And I'd rather see something that's called a place to create. And maybe you look at your zoning rules in town here. And there's certain occupations that you're allowed to have at home, like home offices, where you don't have to go through the special review. But what about letting artists work out of their homes? I mean, it's kind of funny that we're talking about spending all this money on some kind of a facility for 17 to 30 people who want to move here, or, I mean, maybe some of them are here. But what about supporting the people who are already here? Just in the you know, through the zoning regulations and looking at what our zoning is and how easy it is to work out of your home. I mean, I know there are a lot of things you can do at home that really don't have impacts on neighborhoods, and perhaps, you know, we should look at that so it's not a costly thing to try to use your own home to sustain yourself.
Yeah, and the space is great, it isn't meant to, you know, mess with or interfere with home businesses.
Yeah.
And I do understand that the place is great. There will be an open workspace, and
Yeah.
it's not just for creators. It's not just for people that live in the
I agree, I see what you're saying, but what I'm saying, there's so much energy and thought being put into this, but I think we have an incredible resource that's here right now, but the way the laws are set up and the rules don't really respect the people here as it is. And I'd really like to see this type of effort being put into what we already have here instead of like.
Use and zoning,
Yeah,
I think it's a great idea. I'd like to see a sales tax initiative to support arts and culture.
Susie, what do you see of public policy? I mean, what do you envision?
For public art policy, I see identifying partners between the district and the town, looking at insurance liability, looking at mapping out ADA compliant sculptures at the corners that wouldn't impede handicap accessibility. All those things. Many towns have public art policies. Right now, I don't really see it as a funding ask from the town, more of like setting up all the logistics, the legal things for us to be able to continue to create public art, and the funding mechanisms I see more coming from grants or maybe that sales tax initiative.
Have you talked at all to Grand Junction about that? Because their art is awesome.
Yeah, Evans, since when he came on last year, he started researching public art policies. So we've been looking at Carbondale, Grand Junction, Crested View, and then some smaller towns. So, yeah, and really it could be, we need the town governments, we need to work together. As a nonprofit, we need to work together to put those policies in place.
The whole thing just reminds me a lot of Boulder, where I lived for 25 years, where they're trying to generate all this art, and I guess it's a personal thing, but personally I don't really care for thing to try to generate like interest in art and everything, and it's just kind of trying too hard, like trying to prostitute yourself or something.
So you're saying be conscious or aware of the art that's being, created?
I agree with you, Sam, that there's a lot of art here already. I'm just not sure it's something that the government and taxpayers' money should be.
The Creative Coalition's a nonprofit, and they're the ones that commission artists to come in and do those works. So that's not necessary for the town, so.
I just don't care for what happened in Boulder with that kind. It's a gimmicky to try to generate more money for the coffers. It's just like so, bending over backwards to try to get people to come here. I don't know. I just don't go for that.
Art is so personal, I guess, in a way, and I'm not a big fan of murals, but when I go to Delta, I think they have some amazing murals that are kind of trumped away, and they're based in history, and I find that really appealing, but, I don't know, a lot of the stuff I see around here, I think is pretty uninspiring. But the thing is, it's public art, and I don't know, I kind of wonder why people can't just work within their, like, work on their property, make their little piece of the neighborhood, just with what they own or where they can. Bring it up, maintain it, make it a little bit prettier, but instead it's like having to force your taste in art on everybody else, with using public spaces, and that's where I have a little bit of a problem, because on the whole, Paonia looks pretty run down and messy a lot of times to me, or it looks pretty shabby and weedy, and poorly maintained, with weeds in the cracks down Grand Avenue. It's a messy little town, and I just wish there was a little bit more community pride, and that would just make this town so much more appealing in itself.
And so I think recommend historical and flying murals because
I would like to disagree with you, Suzanne, because if you get out to other towns and come back and look at Paonia, it's a pretty cool town. You gotta get out more. There's a lot of small towns in Colorado that don't have the vibe, don't have the beauty of downtown, don't have the kinds of things that this town has. And I think we need to recognize that and expand on it and not try and make it less than what it is.
Okay, has anyone wanted to provide any input that hasn't so far? Oh, yes.
Not really fully engaged in the school going through the process of stepping in, being the artist as a community exchange for